Apart from laser machining, there is one more process which is highly useful, and this process is called ECDM, that is electrochemical discharge machining. So, electrochemical discharge machining is possibly the most potential technique for machining of glass. So glass is one material which is really tough to machine by any non-conventional method. The only method for cutting of the glass is using a grinding wheel and then generating mechanical stress inside that. But however, that process is also not very error free. A lot of time the cutting does not happen across the line. So either the glass has to make inside a mold of the required size, uh, or we have to develop some other process. So ECDM, that is electrochemical discharge machining, is actually one such process which is especially useful for glass. And it is a hybrid process of electrochemical machining and electro discharge machining. Okay. So discharge happens inside in an electrolyte. It does matter. So for understanding ECDM, that is electrochemical discharge machining, we must have a basic understanding of what is ECM and what is EDM. So today I will briefly discuss what is ECM. So ECM stands for electrochemical machining. So electrochemical machining as ECDM is also a highly potential technique. It means that there are a lot of scope for development even now, and a lot of research is going on. In fact, it is considered to be a most potential method in all the non-conventional machining techniques. Okay, so I'm just writing the highlights of this process. Second, that although the process has been recently developed with a lot of experimentation done with the reaction of a lot of current with some electrolyte, the basic process is same as it was known to most of the goldsmiths for a very long time, and that is this process is called electroplating. So this ECM is nothing but a reverse of electroplating. So in electroplating, what we do is that we try to put a layer of some material on another material. Here we try to remove uh, one material which gets deposited, generally gets deposited on other material, or we prevent that deposition, and we allow this the removal of the material, and then the flow of electrolyte actually takes away the material. So it's nothing but it's reverse of electroplating. This is also called, the basic principle is electrolysis. Anything which happens in an electrolyte is uh, is basically And if you remember, when in a metal, when we give current, here one thing is to just note that ECM and EDM, both the processes are suitable only for the metals. Okay, and therefore in our course of manufacturing with non-metals, they don't play very important role. But because we are required to study ECDM, that is electrochemical discharge machining, which is actually good for in non-metal, and especially good for the glass. And glass is very, very important material for our course. So therefore we are just studying ECM and EDM, just the basic principles. Then we will not be going into much detail about both the process. So in a metals, the flow of the electricity takes place with flow of free electron. You know, the electricity uh, flows with free electrons. But as soon as we put this, but in an electrolyte, so electrolyte is generally a liquid, okay, like NaCl or NaCl plus H2O, which makes it liquid. These are electrolytes. And electrolytes are also said to be good conductors of electricity. Okay. So, and a very important thing is that in electrolytes, the uh, electricity conducts itself by the process of movement of ion. Okay. So we can write that the conduction of electricity in electrolytes takes place due to the movement of ion. Now there is a difference between ions and electrons. Ions are very heavy particle when compared to electrons. Ions are actually mass. You can say so. Or they are a bulk of electrons. So I don't know if you remember or not, but when we conduct electricity and we give uh, anode to some part, and then we give cathode to some part. Let's say there are two substances, two workpieces like this, and if we give negative to this part and positive to this part, and we conduct the electricity, then material removal will take place at the anode fastly. It's a very basic principle which says that material dissolution at anode. So even when we do welding, we give positive to the place where more melting is required. No? So if you're when we do welding process, if you remember, we do give positive when the workpiece is thick because we require melting at the surface. But when workpiece is very thin, we don't give positive terminal to the workpiece because it will melt. No? So then we give positive to our electrode. No? Here also, the part which is required to be dissolved at a faster rate should be given positive terminal, and the another material should be given negative terminal where we don't want a lot of material to get removed. So material removal takes place abruptly at anode. So let's say there is some tool here and we have given negative terminal to the tool. Tool has been given in some specific shape. This is a specific shape, and this is the workpiece where the same shape is required to be created. And if we when we give electricity, a lot of current, when I say a lot, it really means a lot, thousands of ampere. So when we give a lot of current, then material dissolution takes place at this workpiece, and finally the workpiece takes the shape of the other material, which here I am referring as tool. So the final shape of the workpiece actually takes the form of this tool. It is not that the material does not gets removed from this negative terminal, but the rate is quite slow, and also here dissolution takes place very fast, and before these electrons, or sorry, ions, they move from this part to this part and get deposit on this, we give a lot of electrolyte flow here. Okay, so a lot of electrolyte actually flows here, और क्योंकि यहाँ से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इस इलेक्ट्रोलाइट में कंडक्ट हो रही है, तो क्या करते हैं कि a lot of ions actually move from here to the electrolyte. Before they reach on this negative terminal, they get flushed away by with the help of electrolyte flow. So this electrolyte is given a lot of speed here, and they always keep flowing, and we give thousands of ampere. Okay. Now, if you see, there is this specific shape of this cutting tool. So sometimes the gap is very small, sometimes the gap is larger. Where the gap is very small, the material dissolution takes place at a higher rate. Where the gap is large, the material deposition does not take place at the high rate. So the material dissolution depends on the distance between cutting tool and the workpiece. So in most of this ECM process, the cutting tool, the workpiece remains static and the cutting tool is given some kind of motion. It actually vibrates up and down, and sometimes it is given constant feed rate towards the workpiece at a very small rate. This process goes on till this gap becomes uniform. Okay, this material removal takes place from this positive to negative, unless this gap becomes uniform. And also the choice of electrolyte also plays very important role. So I can just write a few that tool is provided with a constant feed motion and electrolyte is selected so that anode is dissolved
B1 rotate
but no deposition takes place
B1 rotate.
on cathode. And order of the current remains is few thousands of ampere. And the voltage generally remains between 15 to 20 volt. The gap is required, a gap of 0.1 mm is required between cutting tool between anode and cathode. Now see, this is very small gap. This 0.1 mm, it actually means 100 micron, that is equivalent to your hair strand diameter. So, and this fluid is required, the electrolytes are required to work in this tiny uh, distance between cutting tool and the workpiece. Therefore, the electrolyte should be chosen so that it can flow within this much small gap. Okay, and therefore it also means that the surface tension should not be very high and the water should not be very hydrophilic. It means that it should flow easily between these two surfaces. It should not get stuck on the surface of any of the material. Now, this process has a material removal rate of approximately 1600 mm cube per minute, which is fairly large. When you compare other methods, the ECM actually removes a lot of material into very small time, and that too very precisely. The only problem is that because it requires a lot of electricity, so this, for removing this much material, it requires electricity of 3 kilowatts per 3 kilowatt hours. Okay, and if you do conventional machining, for removing the same amount of material, a conventional machining may take place much smaller electricity, may consume very less, uh, and almost you can say in a 100 watt per hour is sufficient for a lathe. You know. Not per hour, I should write watt hour. You know. Okay, for removing this same material, I should write kilowatt hour, and this 100 watt hour for a lathe. So of course, it also working on lathe also depends on the type of material we are using. Like ECM can remove the material from harder surface easily when compared to the machines like lathe and milling, where the material removal on a hardened surface is very tough. So now let's discuss a bit of electrochemistry of this process. So this process depends on electrolysis. इसका मतलब है कि एक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट में मटेरियल किस तरह से डिसॉल्व हो जाता है, दैट इज इलेक्ट्रोलाइसिस. And electrolysis was extensively studied by Faraday. No? So Faraday has considerably studied, and therefore all these laws, sorry, so these laws which are governing laws for electrolysis are actually called Faraday's laws, because these laws were first given by Faraday. So, so I can just write sorry for the interruption. So all these laws are called Faraday's laws, and Faraday has actually given two laws. That is, one is that how much chemical change that can take place due to some electric current, and he said that uh, that the amount of chemical change produced by an electric current or you can also say that amount of any material which is dissolved or deposited no, or deposited is directly proportional to quantity of electricity passed. Okay, so M is directly proportional to I. That is how we say mathematically. And second law is that the amount of substance which is dissolved or deposited is also proportional to, so I'm just writing in mathematical form that M is proportional to where epsilon is called chemical equivalent weight of any material. Okay. So there are two laws. One is that amount of any material which is deposited or removed in an electrolyte, it depends on how much current we have given. And second thing, what is the nature of that material? What is the chemical equivalent weight of this material? So the process of electrolysis depends on these two factors. So we say that when a material is submerged into an electrolyte and we give some current, so mass or amount of material which is dissolved or deposited over a surface actually remains directly proportional to amount of current I, its chemical equivalent weight, that is epsilon, and for how much time the whole process has taken place. Okay, so where I is current, epsilon is chemical equivalent weight, okay, and T is time. और इसी को हम लिख सकते हैं that total this will be divided by a constant which is called Faraday's constant, and where the value of F, which is Faraday's constant, is 96,500 coulomb. So whenever a metallic body is submerged in an electrolyte, the atoms leave the body from metal, and let's say this is any metal and it is dissolved or submerged in an electrolyte. तो आप जैसे ही किसी भी मेटल को एक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट में सबमर्ज करते हैं, the exchange of ions and atoms start taking place. In some material, the rate is very small, so you observe a very small reduction in weight. For some material, this rate is very large, and in order to improve this process, we give a lot of electricity. अगर आप electricity नहीं भी देंगे तो भी ये process होता है, although at a very small rate. So whenever a metallic body is submerged in an electrolyte, the atoms leave the body from the metal and they actually become ion. A group of atoms, they come out from, I can say, let's say this is electrolyte, and this is metal. So atoms, a group of atom leave this metal and become ions. And the electrolyte actually has ions. Most of electrolyte is made of ions. So these ions move towards the metal. So I can write ions of electrolyte move to metal and becomes ion and become atom. And this process actually goes on continuously till an equilibrium point is achieved. Okay, this movement of ions to atoms to electrolyte and then ions to metal. This process goes on till a chemical equilibrium is attained. Okay? And this equilibrium, uh, it depends on how much electrode potential is there. तो जब तक दोनों सब्सटेंस का इलेक्ट्रोड पोटेंशियल बराबर नहीं हो जाता है, तब तक ये प्रोसेस चलता रहता है. So this electrode potential, also called potential difference, it determines the equilibrium process. And all these processes, the electrode potential and this movement, they depend on the combination of what is the electrolyte and what is the metal. So this combination is very important. And if let's say there are two materials, है ना, अगर आप एक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट के अंदर दो मटेरियल ले लेते हैं, let's say there is one metal A and another metal that is B. Most common example we take is of ferrous and copper. Okay. So when there are two metals which remain submerged into electrolyte, then there is a potential difference or electrode potential difference between iron and electrolyte. So I can just write that is a chemical potential difference exists. Let's say this was A and this was B. So difference exists between A and B, and then A and electrolyte, and then B and electrolyte. So this potential difference is actually electromotive force. It is nothing. This is also called electromotive force. और ऐसे ही अगर if you remember that most of these cells, they have this electromotive force which actually gets generated by electrode and electrolyte. जैसे कि most of these cells which are available, they have iron rod and copper rod in them, and they remain generally dipped into a brine solution in most of the cases, that is NaCl plus H2O. एंड अगर हम लोग इसकी बात करें यहाँ पे, तो क्या होगा कि Fe जो है ये पॉजिटिव होता है, सो Fe2 plus, so this kind of reaction takes place, and when this kind of reaction takes place, the kind of electricity which gets generated is minus 0.409 volt. This is electromotive force. When I say minus, it means that it is losing its weight, it is losing some electrons, okay, and in that process it is generating this much electricity. अगर आप किसी भी आयरन रॉड को एक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट में डाल देंगे तो कुछ ऐसा रिएक्शन होता है जिसके कारण कुछ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट होता है, जिसको आप मेजर कर सकते हैं. सिमिलरली कॉपर के साथ क्या होता है कि Cu and this gives plus 0.304 volt. So the total difference of electrode potential कितना हो जाता है दोनों में? 0.713 volts. The nature of this electrolysis process also depends on which kind of electrolyte we use. ना तो ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि ये हमेशा ही ऐसा हो. It depends on कि in which solution it has been dipped. So now because this solution has H2O, तो इसके कारण क्या होगा कि this kind of reaction may take place. इसका मतलब है कि अगर ऐसा प्रोसेस शुरू होता है तो वहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन के छोटे छोटे बबल्स बनने शुरू हो जाते हैं और फेरस हाइड्रोक्साइड बनता है, जिसको कि हम इस इक्वेशन से समझ सकते हैं. So whenever any metal is submerged into an electrolyte, such kind of reactions occur. Some kind of electricity gets generated, which is also called EMF. This EMF rate can be increased by applying some external charge or external electricity. And normally the electrolyte also reacts to all these process and some kind of gas gets formed. Here in our case, in this case, the hydrogen bubbles get generated. And again, hydrogen bubbles play also very important role when it comes to the uh, cutting quality of or the material removal surface quality. This ferrous hydroxide is a precipitate, and it is required to be flown away from the surface. Otherwise, it will get deposited on the copper because it is insoluble precipitate. Okay, so here, if ferrous is positive and copper is negative, ये अगर आप देखिए, अगर आपने इसको पॉजिटिव दिया, इसको नेगेटिव दिया, तो क्या होगा कि the ferrous will dissolve because it is anode. So the anode dissolves and H2 generates at the cathode. So this and these bubbles, they actually attack on those surfaces. They also come out from the free surface. However, if you see this copper, the copper does not dissolve much because it is negative. तो कॉपर का शेप अगर आप कोई भी सेल लेके देखेंगे जहाँ पे इस तरह के अरेंजमेंट है, तो उसमें जो भी नेगेटिव टर्मिनल होता है वो बहुत ही इंटैक्ट होता है, वो उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा रिएक्शन नहीं होता. यू कैन जस्ट सी इट एनीवेयर, and most of the anode electrode actually gets dissolved. And this is also the characteristic of any ECM process, and that is why we give positive terminal to the workpiece where we require a cavity to be formed like a shape of cutting tool. Now there are some more things like this gram equivalent weight, which we have discussed in our earlier equation, is actually depend on the ratio of A by Z, where A is atomic weight and Z is valency of ions. Okay. तो हम इसको ऐसे लिख सकते हैं कि A is equal to, sorry, M is equal to I A by Z and divided by F into multiplied by T, and if density is rho, let's say जो भी एनोड है उसकी डेंसिटी rho है, then this volumetric removal rate can be written like AI divided by rho Z and F, where rho is the density of anode F is Faraday's constant, that is 96,500 coulomb, and Z is the valency of ions, mostly cations, okay, that we have already written. So I'm just going to discuss a problem. Let's say that in any ECM process and with a pure iron workpiece, so there is a metal called Fe. The material removal rate is, let's say, 5 centimeter cube per minute, and this is desired. Okay, हमको करीब इतना ही चाहिए. So the problem is to determine the current required. No? How much current is required to be given, or ग्राम एटॉमिक वेट दिया हुआ है, that is A is given as 56 gram, valency Z is given as 2, and rho is given as 7.8 gram per centimeter cube. तो हमें एक 5 centimeter cube per minute, that is the volumetric removal rate. Here Q is the volumetric removal rate. So by using this equation, we can determine that how much current is required. So Q is given as 5 centimeter cube per minute. तो आप इसको हम टाइम में कन्वर्ट कर लेते हैं, 5/60. Okay, it must be equal to 56, that is gram atomic weight, cross I divided by 7.8 cross 2 cross 96,500. And when we do this calculation, the answer comes like 2240 amperes. So generally in an ECM process, the electricity is like this, 2000 से 3000 एम्पियर या उससे ज़्यादा भी होती है. तो let's also discuss somewhat about the process parameters. So this electrolyte, which actually flows between this cutting tool and this workpiece, sorry, the conductivity of the electrolyte changes with the temperature. Okay, so as this electrolytes as the temperature changes, the conductivity of this also change, and this leads to increase this MRR. Okay, this also leads, or we can just write that increase in temperature this leads to evolution of bubbles. इसके कारण रिएक्शन तेज हो जाता है और उस रिएक्शन के कारण बबल्स ज़्यादा फॉर्म होते हैं, एंड बबल्स के साथ और भी रिएक्शन होता है, तो इसके कारण प्रेसिपिटेट बहुत बढ़ जाते हैं सॉल्यूशन में. और जैसे ये प्रेसिपिटेट बढ़ते हैं उसके कारण फिर से वो रिएक्शन स्लो हो जाता है. तो ओवरऑल रिएक्शन जो है वो ऑलमोस्ट सेम रहता है एट द एंड, but because of this hydrogen bubble and precipitate, the surface quality deteriorates. Okay. Also, because of the flow of electricity, the temperature gradually increases as the electricity flows, and conductivity changes. So this results in non-uniformity in the current density along the direction of electrolyte flow. Apart from this, bubbles are formed since hydrogen is generated during machining, and these bubbles are swept away by the flow of electrolyte, and concentration of such bubbles, they tend to increase along the direction of electrolyte flow. तो जैसे आप देखिए ये फ्लो इधर की ओर अगर आ रहा है तो इस साइड की ओर हाइड्रोजन बबल्स बहुत ज़्यादा जनरेट होते हैं। तो एक एंड पे जिस भी साइड फ्लो है उस साइड हाइड्रोजन बबल ज़्यादा जनरेट होंगे, और जिस साइड हाइड्रोजन बबल ज़्यादा जनरेट होगा उस साइड की सरफेस क्वालिटी will deteriorate. Okay. However, the surface quality depends on many factors in this process, like what is the kind of dissolution, and how the breakdown is happening. उसको बोलते क्या, sporadic breakdown. I must write surface finish. It depends on किस तरह का breakdown हो रहा है वहाँ ions और atoms के बीच, and what is the kind of flow separation. I'm just writing down some main topics and not discussing much in details, because they're not much important as far as our uh, main objective is concerned. And then evolution of hydrogen gas. So there are these three main factors which define this kind of surface finish. Overall objective of today's class was to show you that the material removal or deposition can take place in presence of electrolyte, and as much current you give, the amount of material removal or deposition increases. और उसके 2-3 फैराडेज लॉ है जिससे वो गवर्न होता है. So that's all about electrolytes or ECM. In the next class we will discuss somewhat about EDM, and then in somewhat detail we will discuss about ECDM.